May, we did the Niagara Pride 5K and health fair. Thank you to Kate, who was there with me. This was Niagara Pride does a couple events every year. This was our first time doing this one. In the past, we've done one that was more like right in Niagara Falls. And I think in the future, if we do any of their events, that would be the one to focus on again, because this 5K was pretty quiet. After everybody did their running, there was like a couple people around and then they, didn't linger. But it was good because it was in May, so it was nice to help spread the events out. And I mean, even if it's a small event, it's still outreach. So it was really, I'm so glad that we were there. And if anybody who was at any of these events has any comments too, just feel free to jump in. We also did the Buffalo Pride Parade. That was June 1st. It went really well this year. I will say it is a long day still, so I don't know if there's any way that we can kind of consolidate it more in the future, to kind of conserve people's energy. I might ride in the Irv or something next year because by the end I was like ready for a nap. So we'll see. But yeah, it was generally a really good event, massive as always. Crowds were huge. It's always really like just jaw-dropping to see how many people come out every year. And we had the van and the pickup in it this year, so that was really awesome.
That's cool.
Okay, we'll zoom in a little bit. We also had our blood drive in Buffalo. I cannot remember how many units we collected. I think unfortunately, it was under 30. I think it was like 28 or 25, somewhere in there. We were expecting more, but it was so hot that day. I think a lot of folks just didn't like want to make the trip out, which I do not blame them for. But it was as per usual. I unfortunately wasn't able to stay that day, but my understanding is that there was like the normal mix of folks who come because it's just their normal blood drive, and then folks who come specifically because it's the Pride Drive. So that's really good to see that there's folks who specifically come out because it's the Pride Drive. And yeah, we had a really great volunteer team and everything. Brian made the trip up to Buffalo, which was awesome.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's an amazing building, so at least like, if nothing else, you get to see that too. So, but yeah. We also had Binghamton Pride Palooza, which Lynn and Joanne thankfully were able to attend. I don't know, do you guys have any comments about that? I know you do it every year.
It was an awesome event. We had, I would say, no less than 200 stop by our table. So that was a huge, wonderful thing. Lots of people around besides that, lots of entertainment, and people that came by were very happy we were there and very happy they were there. So great support for the community.
Awesome.
And what we did, the wheel is broken. So what I did was I typed up some questions and I cut them up into little pieces, big enough to read, and we put them in a paper bag, and we put a sign that said, "Ask a question, get a gift." So, it was a combination of Pride questions and Red Cross questions, and that's how we gave out some of the swag. We kept out some other ones before. We put a few on the table because, as you know, somebody comes by and they grab everything. The one thing, and I know you had a problem with this too, is those lip balm covers kept coming off. So, but it was a great event. It really, the weather was gorgeous that day. It wasn't really hot, and it was just really, although I look kind of like, I look like I don't know, look at my hair. Looks like I just got out of bed or something.
Don't worry about it. This is much more zoomed in probably than normally the photo is. So don't worry. Don't worry about it. The sunscreens were a big hit, but yeah, the sunscreen lip balm combos, I had that issue too, that the lip balms like came off I guess the seal wasn't very strong and they came apart in all of like a lot of, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
But people were really mostly interested in the sunscreen anyway. So I don't know, maybe next year we could buy just sunscreen to save that issue of like wasting any product like that. Okay. And then we had Hamburg Pride in the Park, had some lovely volunteers who came to assist with that. Unfortunately, this had to be indoors due to the weather that day. So that really cut down on attendance, and it was a big indoor space with like live bands and the drag shows and stuff happening very close to our table. So it was very hard to talk to anybody, unfortunately, but we still gave out information. We still had a lot of folks come by. And we do partner with the Rainbow Collective who runs this event for blood drives. They sponsor a blood drive once a year, and then they also have assisted with our Pride Drive that we have in June. So we always want to try to be there to support their events when we can. So I'm glad that we were able to make it. And then there's the Ithaca Pride Fest. We had a wonderful blood donor ambassador volunteer from our Ithaca group come out.
She was
Um,
awesome. Oh my God, she
yeah.
was awesome.
Wonderful.
Cindy
Who
is great, and
who
she's
is that?
like,
Who is that,
that's
Carrie?
Cindy Nicholson. She's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
that's great.
She's really funny too, but
Awesome. Love it.
Oh, she was a huge, huge help. For this one, we were on the Commons, and there weren't a lot of they spread out all over downtown Ithaca, I think. They're in
oh,
the park and they're on 3 different streets and they're on the Commons. So it was very, very spread out, which was nice in one way, but in the other way, it didn't generate as much traffic. We had more traffic in Binghamton than we did in Ithaca, but we still saw about 100 people, would you say, Joanne?
Yeah, I think so.
okay. Yeah, I'm surprised that that's how it was set up, because that's a lot of walking then for anybody who wants to attend. So I'm surprised that's
Yeah.
how they set it up. But that's nice though.
Yeah, I
I love
got
your
some
little balloon that you
balloons.
had out. What?
I
Sorry.
got some balloons that we got on Saturday for Pride Palooza, and then we took up to Ithaca for that one the next day. So there were three of them. The small one you see right there on the table. There were two that were outside on each end of the tent that was floating up in the air, and they said welcome, and they had, yeah.
I love that. That's a great idea. It's very cute. Okay. And then we had, so this is Carolina. She's on our volunteer services team in Rochester, and she actually independently was planning to go to this tabling event and then reach out to let us know. So we were able to provision her with some of like the Pride specific giveaways and stuff. Um, but this looks like an awesome event. Unfortunately, she's not here today to chat about it, but I'm really happy that we were able to attend that as well. And I don't know, Nicole, did you hear anything about this event or were you there? I don't know if you were able to stop by that day.
I wasn't able to stop by, but I did talk to her about it. It was, she said it was a good event. They did it inside the dome this year, and so she said they don't think they're gonna do that again. But because it was a little spread out, but she
Hmm.
said she goes to this every year, regardless. This year she decided to go representing the Red Cross, but it's something that she goes to personally just to attend. So it was kind of exciting that we were able to have this representation. And then we also collaborated. She gave me some of the materials so that we could do some more volunteer recruitment following up on that one at the one in Canandaigua. So it was kind of nice to collaborate with her because we were able to offer just a little bit more when we went to Canandaigua too.
She's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't met her in person yet. but that's great.
Yeah,
Nicole, do you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say she's really involved in the community, which is great, and I'm learning a lot from her.
It's awesome. Cool. I know you went to Canandaigua and Corning events. I don't have photos of those though. So did you want to just like talk about either of
Yeah,
those, Nicole?
yeah. So I'm terrible at getting photographs. I was telling Carrie this earlier. I'm like, I need to get better about taking pictures because I get so caught up in what we're doing. But so we went to Corning and that Southern Finger Lakes Pride, and I had a friend of mine who I recruited to help, and she jumped right in and learned the answers to questions and was actually a huge help. So I'm hoping to get her more involved with us. And that one was really good. That's the second year we've gone. Um, it's right on the like open to everyone in the public, which I really like. Like people can just see it and walk on in. So there was like people that were there hiking that were like, "Oh, we saw this was going on and we just want to check it out." And we had a lot of people come by and just talk to us and get some goodies. And I set out coloring. There's a lot of kids that attend this one, so I set out there's preparedness with Pedro and the water safety with Longfellow Whale. So I set out the coloring pages for from those, and that was nice. And then people were coming over and like taking in the crayons we had and creating pride flag layouts, and it became like this whole draw that I wasn't expecting. So I enjoyed that. And then in Canandaigua, that's the Finger Lakes Pride. That one's a little bit smaller. It's at the Ontario County Fairgrounds. It is open, anybody can come, but it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so you kind of have to know about it in order to go. But it's a nice event. It was smaller. We didn't have quite as much traffic, but it because it's kind of a contained event, we had more people that would like come back routinely and more detailed conversations. And we also had oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his last name, but from from Biomed, Damon, Brian, you probably know who I'm talking about, but he was there with his wife, and it just was like,
Damon Lincourt, who's our account
yes,
manager. Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
So
Yeah, he's great.
he was there with his wife and didn't know we were going to be there, so he came over and helped set up, which was awesome to get to talk to him. And Wanda was there, and again, I really regret not getting a photo of all of us. Um, but we had some good discussion about just how we could better collaborate when we're going to events, because he's like, oh, we didn't even know this was happening. We could have had our account rep for this area be here. So I thought that was a really good learning experience. And you know, it's one of those that one's nice because you get a lot of time to bond with the people that are near you, because there's both inside and outside booths and we're kind of close together. So we got a chance to kind of network a little bit at that one. And next week is Rochester.
Yes. Yes, we will talk about that too. Okay. And then last thing is the Batavia Glow Out Pride. So this was a lot of the folks who were here were actually from the Rochester area and came over. It was kind of a mix of folks between Rochester and Buffalo. This was definitely the busiest event that we were at this year, just because that in Buffalo, I mean, because the Niagara one was smaller, the Hamburg one had to be inside, and then this one was outside. It was a beautiful day. And so this is where I literally have like nothing left. I gave away almost everything of all our giveaways, which was awesome. And we had bottled waters donated that we were able to hand out, which was really great because it was like a million degrees that day. This was an awesome event. I would love to go back, and I feel like I've made a pretty good connection with the folks from Batavia Glow Out, or just Glow Out. I feel like we made a good connection with them. So I would love to keep reinforcing that by participating in their events and stuff and continuing to reach out with them. Yeah, so that's everything we did. I know, Nicole, you mentioned Upcoming events. Sorry, this is one of those things where Canva, like when the when the sharing toolbar is like blocking the actual things I need to click on. Okay, so here's what's coming up in July. Um, so yes, the Rochester Pride Parade and Festival is next weekend. And I did just, thank you, Genesee, Livingston, Orleans, and Wyoming. That's what GLOW stands for. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, and I didn't want to try to guess. So I appreciate you putting that in there. So yeah, they serve a wide area, and they do really great work, just like bringing pride initiatives to a more rural community. Um, anyway, so for the Rochester Pride Parade and Festival that's coming up next weekend, I don't know, Nicole, do you have any like updates on that or anything that we still need to get coordinated?
We sent out the invitations to join. There's multiple ways because we have both a table and a float in the parade. I gonna try to get the Irv, and I'm actually, so I do have a question about the form to request that because I've never done that before. So when I was told to submit the form, I was like, well, I'll have to know what that is. So if there's anyone who can help me do that, that would be greatly appreciated. But
I can help you, but like offline, I mean afterwards, offline, I can show you where you need to go because I just did one.
that would be awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay.
And Lynn and I won't be able to be there. I was gonna come up, but it's the 18th and that's my granddaughter's bridal shower.
Oh, exciting.
So I'll be busy.
Yeah.
Understandable. That's awesome. So yeah, we've got some people that's already RSVP'd, so thank you so much. And please come. It's really good. It's the biggest event for the Rochester group, and it's one of the biggest Pride festivals outside of New York City. I think the only other one that might rival or be bigger is in Albany. So it's a really fun event. Um, so
I,
I don't,
I was there last year, as you were too. It really was a great time, and I hope people come out and join again. Right now, I don't want to like jinx anything, but right now the forecast looks good, like in that it's not going to be 90. So
yeah,
that's good. So fingers crossed. I'm really looking forward to it.
yay.
Nicole,
Me
I
too.
sent that invite out to my team and to our collection team, to the managers to send out to all their staff too, and to Dwayne.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much.
And I also I'm so rude. I didn't introduce Emily. Emily is on this call. She is our account manager for the Rochester City, and the Rochester Pride Parade is her. The Rochester Pride Drive is hers. So
Hi, Emily. Thanks for being here today. Yeah, so before we talk about the Pride Drive, I just had one more thing I wanted to ask Nicole. So I know Lynn said that there's some leftover tabling supplies in the southern tier, and I have some stuff left. It's pretty sparse, but I have a lot of candy left. I was like begging people to take candy at the end of the TV event. I have a lot of candy. So do you want any of that for the Rochester events, like either from the southern tier or from me? Because we can send it your way.
I actually, I don't, I have lots of candy left too. I
Okay.
think we did a good job with the candy. I think because last year we ran out. So,
Yeah,
um,
so it was like an overzealous this year.
Yeah,
yeah,
we have a lot left too.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I think we can just hang on then. Those of us who have stuff left over, we can just hang on to it for next year. Unless
I
Brian, Emily, there's anything you want for the Pride Drive. I know we have the rainbow bags and I think t-shirts for you
yep,
also. So
yeah. I mean, we'll take whatever you guys got. We'll be If you want to
Okay.
put stuff on us, we'll take it. And then if we got to figure out a home for it after that, we could do that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, now we have stickers and other things that we can bring um to the Pride Drive after the Pride Festival's over. We can have all that ready to go for the Pride Drive and be able to give that stuff out there too.
Kate asked, should I bring the Buffalo Pride flag to the Rochester? I don't know. Do you think bringing the Buffalo Pride flag to the Rochester event is going to be a like a competitive move?
I know. I feel like we need a Rochester flag.
Yeah. Well, you bought that at the parade, right, Kate? So maybe
I
you guys
did.
could.
It was stupid
Yeah.
expensive, but I have it hanging near in my cubicle or like on the outside of my cubicle at work now. And I was like, I don't know, they come from all over. So maybe it's like showing support from the Buffalo side, or it's not to be competitive, but I get the idea. It could go either way.
Wait, I'm
I
drawing a blank.
did learn
Say
from a
Buffalo on it.
boss or mentor once, when in doubt, there is no doubt, if you've never heard that saying. So maybe
Did it
I'll
say
skip, but it is a nice
Buffalo?
flag.
Wait, it says Buffalo, or is it a Buffalo Bills one?
Oh, it's a Buffalo Pride flag.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a pride flag and then just has like Buffalo Pride in cursive on it. It's not a Bills one.
Oh,
Emily's a huge Bills fan too, so I'm like, that would be more than enough.
I'm sure those exist. Like I'm sure you could get one,
Yep.
but
I'm sure. Emily, do you have one?
I don't. I wish I did. And now I'm like, can I get one made?
Yeah, someone does somewhere, and buy it before the parade because it was $30. That was stupid. And the grommets fell right off of it. So, but it looks
oh
nice.
no.
Mm. Do we still
It
have
looks
the
great in the
banner?
pictures, and we'll use it every year in Buffalo.
Do we still have the banner to carry in the parade and all that?
yes. So
Okay.
after using it in Buffalo, there's two amazing volunteers who are kind of like midway between Buffalo and Rochester who took it and who are planning to be at Rochester who will bring it.
Great. Great.
So that was like I was so appreciative that they did that because I was like, how am I going to mail this to Rochester? It's so big and weird. So
Oh,
that
so
worked
they're
out
gonna
really
bring
well.
it to the they're gonna come to the parade.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
Sonia and her partner will be there. So they'll have it. I know Sonia already signed up on the Google form.
Beautiful.
I did not sign up on the Google form. Does that matter if I'm just decorating?
No.
Okay, thank you.
So I'll be there. I'm gonna be driving up from the Catskills, but I'll be there definitely for the parade and for the event after. So I don't know if I'll be there in time to decorate the float though.
Awesome.
So
I think it starts like later than you think it will. So
Yeah, it starts
like,
at 11, but we never start marching before
yeah,
like noon or
Yeah.
even later because we're like number 155 out of I think like 178. We're really close to the back. So we have a lot of
Okay.
time before we start marching. So there's no rush. I think our check-in
Have
time
hope,
is
Brian.
officially 10:30 actually. So like they don't I told John Hatch that the driver really should try to be there by 10 just so we have a little bit of time because sometimes it's difficult to navigate through everybody setting up,
Yeah.
but we're gonna have a lot of time. Like if people
had
showed
to,
up
like-
at 11, we'd have time to
Yeah.
decorate.
I had to shoo people out of our spot last year. Like, no, we've got a truck coming in here.
Yeah.
but what time? I'm just wondering because I have quite a drive before me. I'm just wondering what time is a good time to show up? I don't want to be
11
11. Okay.
or 12 even. Like 11's a good time to aim for, and if you're even later than that, that's still
Yeah.
okay. Because
gonna
everything
Yeah.
officially starts at 11. So the festival opens at 11 and the parade officially starts at 11.
But
So
we probably won't step off till noon. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So 11 a.m.
And that should give
Nic-
you time too to find because the parking can be a little bit of a challenge. So I'll send all that out to everyone too in terms of where there's going to be parking and what the options are.
I had another question, Nicole. Oh gosh, I forgot. Okay, never mind. Skip me. I'll if I think of it, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right, awesome. So
Okay.
you guys had Carrie, you guys had the truck and the ERV in the parade.
Yeah, we did because the way the Buffalo, I think Rochester is different because it ends at the festival. Buffalo, you march and then they just like leave you like across the city, basically. They just like, you're just there then. So we needed more vehicles in order to be able to get all of our walkers back to the parade start because there's no shuttles or anything, and it would be an immensely long walk to then walk all the way back. So Lori very kindly offered to also have the Tacoma. It was cool to have two vehicles, but the main purpose was really just so that we would be able to get all of our own walkers back to where the parade starts.
Okay, we have that same problem too because it ends in the festival, and I mean like it ends. They're like walkers go this way, the vehicle goes that way, and you're done. And so we've always had to like chase down the herb and like jump in it on the side of the road.
Yeah,
So
no, that's how this was too. They like separated us at the end by
yeah.
accident
Yeah.
because there was like, well, actually, there was like a fight broke out in front of the Irv randomly, like right at the end of the parade route, and it like slowed down the Irv, so they ended up being kind of far back, so they got like separated off. It was a little random bit of excitement, like right at the right at the end of the parade.
Wow.
Okay, well, let's
Crazy.
hope for no fights. But
It was spectators. It wasn't
Yeah.
people in the parade, you know, because it's
I hung back with the vehicle and it was fine. She couldn't drive anywhere when it fizzled out as soon as it started. It was,
yeah,
and I thought, oh, this could get hairy. And then the
yeah.
police were right there, carried people away.
Yeah, the city is great. They always have a million police officers and stuff. Are there new shirts? It depends. So Nicole, I have a bunch of the um it's the Pride blood
The gray
shirts.
ones,
Yeah, the gray. I'm just trying to find a
they
picture
look
of them.
nice.
These ones, the Pride in every drop. That's what it says. The gray Pride in every drop shirts. I have a ton of those.
Yay.
Do you want those, Nicole, or do you have
Yes.
some
I
or
would
okay.
like those because those would be new for me and some others. I don't know how
yes.
many. Okay, good.
Yep,
I know that I'm
definitely.
pretty
I
sure
have the
that
white
Dawn and
one, but I'd love the gray one too.
yeah, me too. I was thinking that.
Okay.
How are
I
you
will
Yeah,
getting
that
stuff
would
out
be,
there, Carrie? Do you want me to take stuff?
I can probably mail the shirts. I mean,
Oh, mail them? I'm
just
going. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean if you want to just take them if you're going. I was just going to send them via bird, but if you're
oh, send,
going,
yeah, you can mail them. I don't,
yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
typical
yeah, it's just the
rotation, just do
interoffice
that
mailing.
then,
It's not
just
like
to be
I'm
safe.
not gonna pay to
Inter-office.
mail them. No, just the interoffice mailing. I can send them.
Perfect.
But Nicole, we can talk about how many you need too, because I think I was a little overzealous in how many I took, and I don't want to leave uh donor recruitment without any. So let me know how many. We can talk about how many you'll need, and I can send
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
We can
yeah.
just like
All right.
guesstimate.
Yep, I've got a list of who's already sent me, and so we can kind of look at who we already know, and then just kind of like make a good guess based on like the last couple of years, and that should.
Does Emily have those for her Pride Drive? Is that,
Um,
if we
so
have enough?
Tracy ordered them. I don't know, Brian, Emily, do you know the status of that? Tracy is ordering them or has ordered them.
Yeah, we have them. I believe they're the white ones.
Okay.
So I was thinking to wear that one just so when, talking to people and trying to get them signed up, I'll have that shirt on to show them the shirt that they'll get.
Oh, nice.
That's a
You
good
guys bring
idea.
Nicole, you guys have the gray ones that we had in Buffalo that parade drive, right?
That's the ones that that's the ones we were just talking about. Carrie's
Yeah.
gonna send for us to have for the people participating in the parade.
Okay, perfect. Emily, did you happen to see the shirts in the office yet? I know they're there. I forgot to take a
I
look.
didn't see them yet. I know that they are there though. And then Tracy said we had like the extra, like the messenger bags to hand out as well.
I have those in my car. When I we were there Tuesday, so I took them with me. They were just 2 bags of those bags. They're really cute, Carrie. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We've given them out a lot in Buffalo. We just stuff them with, we have all the Pride swag, depending on what's left over after the like festival and stuff. You
Well,
can just
Pride
stuff
people
them
either
with that.
make an appointment or somebody they're with can make an appointment.
Oh no, I mean we hand them out at the drive after people donate, and we stuff them with all this with like the stuff.
Oh,
So
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, so we usually just give them out to donors. And like we just put like I don't know, we've had like random organizations sponsor in the past and give us like pens and stuff, and we just threw all those in those little bags. So they're nice for that if you have that kind of stuff to give out.
All right. Okay. So we'll do that for okay. So those
Yeah.
bags drive then. Okay. And we'll bring stuff to give away. I just want to give them something at the drive. I mean, at the parade to sign up just when we're talking to them.
Yeah. So
Just some extra goodies.
I wanted to ask Brian, is the blood link that we made still active for folks at the parade and festival to use if they want, or has it closed?
I believe it's still open, but I am going to put a link in there. I have it written down to get that done.
Okay.
I'm going to incorporate the link so we're not getting flooded with too many barcodes.
Okay. I just thought because I had like the flyer with like the Buffalo, Rochester, Binghamton. I had that like at the Batavia event. I had that printed out and just like in a little standee, and we did have some people scan it. It was really nice because a couple people said like, oh, I haven't donated in a while, and then you can just direct them right to that to sign up for the upcoming upcoming blood drive. But you might want to have something geared more towards the actual Rochester Pride Drive that's coming up. I was just curious if the blood link was even still an option or if it's closed already.
It's still open. I think we should just keep it open anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we got 13 or is it 13 or 14 donations Bradley said from in Rochester from the blood link. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I think for this event, I'm going to have one just so they can go directly to the First Unitarian First Pride Drive. And then, because I just want to get them directed to that one, because if they go to the blood link, then there'll be too many options. I don't want to.
Yeah.
If they say they can't make that day, then I can have a conversation with them. But we just want to get as many people.
Yeah. You don't need to have like 75 QR codes out there. Like,
yeah.
I get it.
I think I'm clever. And we do, we make the 3-ups to distribute. I think those would be good size to hand out, right? Emily, do you think? Or should we do smaller ones?
I'm torn because I feel like if it's smaller, then it just kind of gets crumpled up and lost. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I think like the 3-up is generally a good size. Because you can fold it, put it in a pocket. But I think if we go any smaller, that's when we risk it just getting lost in the shuffle.
Right. Okay, so 3-ups, and then I think the QR code for the actual just the First Unitarian Drive would be perfect. And then maybe a little standee. I like that word standee, Carrie. I'm stealing that.
I don't know if that's the right word because I know people
it
call
is.
It was very clear what you meant, so I like it too.
Don't call it anything else. I would have put the paper in to stand up. So, okay, so at the Pride Drive, we'll have 3-ups and then some goodies to hand out. Then have a lot of difficult conversations with people, so that's exciting.
Honestly,
You get a lot?
No, I didn't. This year I had I had one young person who came up and said, I thought gay people weren't able to donate blood. And I explained everything, and she was like 13. So that was just her way of asking. I wouldn't say that was a tough conversation. I was really surprised this year. I didn't have any difficult interactions with folks. I mean, I certainly had my kind of spiel transformed into, like there are no longer any questions about sexual orientation when you go to donate blood, which is as it always should have been. And a lot of folks were like, yes, that was crazy that that was ever a thing. But that was the closest I think I got to somebody having like any sort of negative or like pushback. Generally, I think that if people have negative feelings, unfortunately, they just don't even approach to start the conversation. You know what I mean? Because there are plenty of folks who just walk by, and I don't know if it's because they feel negatively or it's because they just like are doing something else, So that I would say that generally I felt like it was really positive this year. But that was my experience in the few places that I went. So
Same for me. I had two people who didn't realize that they could donate. One of them donated for years um, before she transitioned, and she did not realize that she could donate now. So she was super excited that she could go donate. And then the other was like a young man, and he said he had been lying. He admitted flat out that he would lie so that he could still donate. So I told him, well, don't lie because you don't have to anymore. And he's like, I get tested regularly and everything else. So I he was excited that he didn't have to lie anymore. But that was the only, those were the two, I mean, like those were really exciting conversations because we were able to affirm that both these people were welcome. And I didn't have any negative this year at all. Everybody was really happy to see us. So in Rochester last year, Carrie, you were there with me most of the time. I don't remember anything. A few people that were surprised, but I don't remember anything negative. So I think we're actually having an impact.
We are.
We definitely are. I know we had a couple people come and ask if there have been any changes over the last year or so about abstention. And, we talked about that, but they were all good. So there was no negativity about it.
There was in the Rochester parade last year, there was one person during the parade that shouted out, "But you don't want my blood." And actually one of our marchers like stepped over and spoke to them. Like, and I don't know what the exact resolution of the conversation was because I was holding the banner and had to keep going, but maybe we are really making that impact at this point.
That's awesome.
I
Well,
did
last year, oh,
a great
sorry.
thing. I called Assembly Member Harry Bronson yesterday, and they're going to be at the parade too. But I just reached out to see if they would help promote our drive, and I got to send them information. But they said they'll be at the parade and stuff. So I will. I'll talk to you in person too. So
Wonderful.
that's exciting.
That's great.
Last year we had that huge banner. We had a huge banner that went through because the theme was Rainbow Revolution. So we had a banner that had all the colors of the pride flag that went through kind of the history of the Red Cross, and it was like Rainbow Revolution of the Red Cross that went through how the exclusionary policies have changed over the years, and it was like kind of that acknowledging the reality but then also acknowledging the progress. And we've got a ton of positive feedback about that, so I think that that helped too because it was like a moment of like we know that there was harm and we know that there was discriminatory, and we included like both the racial discriminatory policies as well as the sexual orientation policies. And so it was one of those like we're acknowledging that there was discrimination, but we're also like saying, hey, we want to be different now. And that, I mean, people had taken videos of it, people were clapping. I think we got a lot of good reaction to that. So, and I heard that Trillium was impressed with the fact that we did that. So I think that we're making a lot of headway with the people who have influence in Rochester, which is good.
That was my next question about Trillium.
And I involved with Trillium myself personally, just to try to kind of make some connections there too, to try to bridge that because I know that there's still, I don't think, I think it's still just from what I understand, this is all secondhand, it's the CEO who's still a little hesitant to partner with us, but there's a lot of people within Trillium who are very supportive of us. So I think we're making the connections we need to, and we're moving in the directions we need to with them, which I think is very positive. And I credit Wanda to a lot of that because she's been working really hard. She worked there and she has connections. So I'm happy to see the progress we're making.
Awesome. Well, any other thoughts about the upcoming Rochester events, be it the Pride Drive or the parade or the festival or anything on that front?
Just a quick, so we have the flyers. It's sponsored by the we have it. You saw those flyers with the Western New York Pride Resource Group sponsoring, and you guys are able to share on social media and to your connections.
Yeah, I can absolutely share. I think I might have overrepresented the connections that I have to you. I didn't mean to do that. I'm in like one group that's Rochester based that I can share it with, but I can share it with them.
Yeah, totally. Or any
Oh,
social
that
Do you
channels
have a
that
social media thing to share, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay, can you send it to me as well? I have some networks I can share it in.
Yep, Emily, can you drop it in the chat?
Yeah, that's true. I know you sent me flyers. I don't know if I had like a social, because usually there's like a separate, is there like a separate social media like square or whatever to share, or is it just the same flyer?
So I can make like a smaller social media square that might be better. Right now I only have the flyers, so um if it's okay, I can make it when we get off this call and send it over to everybody.
That'd be great.
Cool.
Thank you.
I will send it to Meg in communications too.
Oh,
I always forget to send stuff to comms, and I know that she's very very happy to put that stuff up for us. So I'll make sure she has it too.
yeah, that's a great idea. I always forget that too. I admit I didn't send her anything that we did in Buffalo this year, so that's a great idea. Okay. Anything else there? Okay.
I think that's all I have. I'm just checking my notes here.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. Excited to be back at the First Unitarian Church, so that'll be great. Sylvia said she did talk to the volunteer that was scheduled for First Unitarian, and she was really excited to get the news that it's a Pride Drive. So
Oh, that's awesome. That's so
Yay.
exciting.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. That's good. All right. Well then, so we're running low on time here. The only other thing we wanted to talk about, I think since we don't have a lot of time left, um, we can just sort of like introduce it and then we can talk more about it maybe next time. But so Nicole and I had kind of met and did some brainstorming about how we can better split up the kind of workload of running this group, particularly as as we're approaching Pride Month, all the Pride Month events in June and July that we do. And just that it's a heavy lift to do the things that national wants, to do the things that the group wants, to do the things that we need to do on an individual level to get the events to be successful. And just year round, right? Like how can we maintain good presence everywhere year round? So we had talked about expanding to having sort of like a steering committee. And I know we aren't a huge group, so that might kind of change the way our group functions, and maybe more like the folks that are consistently participating are a steering committee, and then we have like of virtual events a few times a year where we invite a larger community. Like we'll have to kind of talk about how that will work. But the main thing is that we did want to start putting feelers out for anybody who would be interested in sort of stepping up and helping us with some of the tasks that we're doing on a day-to-day basis, and assisting with sort of sharing those between people. And the good thing about that is that if any one of us then has to take a step back for any reason, it's very flexible. There would be multiple people who we can all lean on each other to help support running this group. So we had kind of identified some core potential roles based on what we identified as being kind of the main facets of what we do. But before I go into those, I don't know, Nicole, do you think did I miss anything there, or did I like present our ideas well? Like, is there anything you want to add?
Oh, I think you presented it really well. I think the biggest takeaway that Carrie and I had when we talked is that it's a lot of work, and you know, for us to do it on top of our regular lives. And I have to admit that I have had some things going on in my life that I leaned a lot on Carrie, and Carrie is now having things in her life. And so we've just kind of realized that for us to do the amount of work that we've been doing isn't sustainable for us to meet our goals as a group. And so I think we need to reach out to a bigger group to be able to delegate more of the tasks involved in doing everything that we do to be able to keep our momentum going.
Yeah, that's really well put. Thank you. Um, and as I was kind of envisioning this, I imagine that per person, it would not be a huge time commitment. I mean, I think if we were to split up what we're doing between a couple of people, we could meet once a month, for like an hour-ish, and then it might be 2 to 3 hours of work on top of that each month. I mean, it wouldn't be, I don't think, and as we come up to the Pride events, it would expand. But it's hard to say, but I don't envision that it would be like individually for any of us, it would become much more manageable for all of us, I should say. So let me share here. Here was kind of the potential roles that we had identified, and this is all really flexible. If any of you are interested in any of these things and you're saying, I could do that, but that one piece of it I wouldn't want to do, or I would want to do both of those roles. I mean, this was just sort of a very rough draft early idea, so it's highly flexible. And like I said, this would be the sort of thing where if you're having like a crazy couple months, you could lean out for a little while. And then if, you have some time where you have more energy to give, you could lean in for a little bit. It would be no one would be like super beholden to anything. It would be pretty flexible. So a big thing would be assisting with getting the events coordinated. Lynn and Joanne have done this in Southern Tier, which has been invaluable. Like we would not have been able to do anything down there if it wasn't for the two of you. So we really appreciate it. But like identifying events to participate in, whether it's one we've done before or if there's new ones we haven't done before that we want to check out, coordinating volunteers. And Nicole and I had loosely thrown out the idea of in the future, maybe it would be ideal to, before we sign up for an event, already have like at 2 to 3-ish folks that we know are going to be there. So we don't commit to something that then becomes like one person at a multi-hour event by themselves the whole time, or something that's not realistic for us to attend. We don't ever want like one person to be carrying an entire event like on their back. We want it to be split. So we had talked about something along those lines, like trying to get that coordinated before we even sign up so that we're not committing to something that ends up being an unrealistic ask. And then handling like getting registered for these events. And this could be one person for everywhere, that if it's just this task, it wouldn't be like a huge amount of responsibility if it's just kind of these things, because we would all be there to support you in all the other aspects of the events. So it could be one person overall, or it could be one person per area, depending on what you're comfortable with. We talked about having somebody assist with budgeting. Traditionally, Nicole's kind of formatted a budget, and then I've ordered the supplies. But we have now a couple years of experience of putting the budget together, and not only putting our dream budget together, but then seeing what we actually get. So we could, assuming that there will be that same grant opportunity that we've done, assuming that will continue in future years, somebody could look at what we've done in the past and use that to build a budget for each year going forward. And this is specifically for those Pride events, but it could change depending on if we end up doing more throughout the year that requires funding, and like talking about where that would come from. Ordering supplies, traditionally I've ordered everything either like to my house or to my office and then redistributed it. And that's become this year, when like 5 boxes of Skittles and Lifesavers arrived at my house, I was like, okay, I think we need to rethink this for next year. So, just like helping with that, moving, like getting supplies coordinated between each area, making sure we have things for events in each area, things like that. And then these last 2 bubbles could be one person or it could be 2 separate. They're very interrelated. We were looking for somebody to help with meeting minutes and keeping track of who attends each meeting. And then I have traditionally sent a meeting reminder beforehand and a follow-up afterwards. And I know Nicole technically owns the meeting, but it may be nice to have somebody else own the meeting and like handle the reminder and the follow-up. And then also we've had like people who need to be added to the meeting or taken out of the series or things like that. And like being able to have somebody just really quickly be able to add those things on would be really helpful. And the last thing would just be, Nicole brought this up earlier, better communication with internal partners about what we're doing. Communicating with all the different departments saying we're going to be at this event, because this year we had a couple of examples of like someone went to an event and we didn't know that they were planning on going, or like they didn't know that we were going to be there, things like that. So just better communication about that and about what we're doing all year, just to make sure everybody's informed of what we have going on. So sorry, that was like a lot of talking, but I just wanted to kind of put the feelers out there. Yeah, I mean, Kate, like if you certainly wanted to, I don't know if you like know Meg, I don't know if you wanted to like pass this along to her that this is something we're looking for. Like anybody here, if you're interested, let us know. But also if you know somebody who might be interested, let us know. Interns would be an idea, like volunteers who, I'm thinking like maybe even like a younger volunteer who volunteers in person over the summer but doesn't have a lot of availability the rest of the year. Maybe they could assist us with something like meeting minutes or like attendance. You know what I mean? And that could be their like year-round volunteering, something small like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian or Ellen, do you know if anything about these interns? Because I don't know if they're in Rochester. I think they're college students, but I don't know. I know Meg, I think, is in the Buffalo area. Like she lives in the Buffalo area. I'll just reach out to her. She asked me about some scholarship stuff the other day anyway, so I was just waiting to hear back. If nobody
So
knows.
I don't know very much specifically of anybody that's like in place right now, but if somebody were to identify someone willing to do this, we could figure that out. I mean, the problem with interns we always run into is finding like the person who's gonna be their point person to direct their activities and keep track of their hours. Like that's always the difficulty we have, right, Carrie?
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
will say for this, we had kind of randomly in Buffalo, we had one other example of somebody who had been to some Pride events and who had been like helping us. And then National was like, everybody at every event has to be an approved volunteer. So he was actually able to come in as a volunteer just for this steering committee, and I was his supervisor. So like I technically can like assign him hours and like
Mm.
credit him for hours and stuff. And it's
Right.
just in the capacity of this committee. Like I don't actually really do anything supervisory for him because he doesn't need
Right.
it. So
Right.
like that's a possibility. I know Volunteer Services was able to do that. So
I don't see why we couldn't do like repeat that in
yeah,
Rochester, you know.
yeah. Like I
Or
would think theoretically anybody who wants to be involved in
right.
that capacity could come in the same way as like an intern or a volunteer, and that way, you know, they technically
Yeah.
have like we would, Nicole and I would be overseeing them technically, because in this plan, Nicole and I are still the co-chairs,
hmm
and we had talked about, you know, overseeing the committee, the steering committee, but also doing a lot of the like communication with National and
Mhm.
kind of finagling their expectations and stuff, and that kind of being our like one of
If
our main
it's
focus points.
and if it's at all helpful to like build in a person to be like an intern point person, I could as well do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So maybe we can go to recruitment and I can reach out to them and see if this is something that they would be aware of anybody in kind of that
Right.
incoming, or they could just keep them an eye out for it for anybody who does come in.
Right. Right. Because sometimes they even get like you know, students who are, you know, looking to have a career in public service or something, and they're trying to interface with various you know, initiatives and non-governmental organizations like us. So you never know who comes through their view.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
Mhm.
also too, like to be clear, like it doesn't have to be like a intern or a volunteer. It could be a staff member who is willing and able to add this like on,
Mhm.
you know, too. So if anybody is interested in that, or if you know anybody, let us know too. So we'll kind of look at multiple ways to try to build this, because I think our group will be more sustainable if this is something that we can accomplish. So I know we're a little over time. Any other thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm definitely down to add a bunch more to my plate. So,
Did you say a bunch more?
sure.
Okay. What we'll probably do is once we'll kind of give it a little bit to see who's interested. And then I imagine, Nicole, we can set up a meeting and kind of talk about how this will look going forward.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So
Yeah,
we'll
like the
definitely,
internal partners. I mean, I got DRD obviously,
yeah.
and collections. I know. Well, I know Kate. You work with Meg on a different capacity, I think, right? Um, but yeah, and I can also do more, so we can figure out whatever is left or whatever. I'm down to add stuff on. So.
Thank you. That's awesome. So yeah, we'll definitely reconvene about this and we can talk about it next month too. I imagine there'll be a lot of recap from the Rochester events next month, but we can talk about it then too.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie.
Thank
You do
you.
so much for us. And
Nicole, did you want to stay on and I can take you through the steps? It's really like it'll take 5 minutes.
yes, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll see everyone on Saturday.
Yee.
Hope you have
Thank
a
you.
great event.
It will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm
Bye.
gonna stop recording.